had to do that.
We slid him the mimosa, and all of a sudden we just started trying to distract him, and Kevin went way beyond.
He went way beyond, and it was like
I fully commit.
Sounds like it.
But these guys knew I was on a vacation. They just didn't know who I was on vacation with.
Hey, it's Alan Tudyk. I just wanted to reach out and welcome you, along with the Duke of Wesselton, who would like to say, welcome to Magic Our Way, I suppose, with Kevin and Danny, Eli, and now with Rachel. Not a big welcomer, but okay, welcome. And then also K2SO. And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe!
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way. Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast. They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libation.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find this. In this episode, we present a story from our Walt Disney World Epic Universe podcast trip back in June 2025. Specifically, we discuss Geo-82 and Shiki-Sai. And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, pixie dust, and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in the Magic Kingdom every day letting you know that guests defaced the Tom Hart's Becky painted fence just days before Tom Sawyer Island closed.
Oh, what did they do to it?
You know, it's funny. It's one of those little weird, misleading headlines, but like when you look closely at, there's a fence on Tom Sawyer's Island where it says Tom Hart's Becky.
Oh.
If you look very closely at the Hearts part, somebody put so-and-so loves so-and-so in red ink. That's the defacing. You can't tell unless you look right on it.
Oh, wow.
But still, they did it.
Can't imagine what website would have reported that.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be some big graffiti thing or something.
That's what I was expecting too, but I read the article.
Justice forever.
Yeah.
Like Jay and Silent Bob.
Whitewash this.
Yeah.
Hear us.
That's what it is.
Anyway, you know what? You're right, Kev. You're absolutely right.
Yeah?
We're not here to do that. We're here to drink, talk some Disney, and say, Shiki-Sai, Shiki-Sai, oi, oi, oi. Shiki-Sai, Shiki-Sai, oi, oi, oi. And drink.
I wish I had that. But listen, I think that was good. Whew, it only gets better. You listeners have the easy part. All you guys and girls have to do is to listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Rachel.
And look, if you're thinking about visiting California and any of those parks out there, or Central Florida, or anywhere in the world, Rachel can help you book that. Booking with Rachel is one of the easiest ways to support this show. Also, you can leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Also, we want to thank our Patreon supporters for all that they do for us. All right, y'all, look, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss our trip. Welcome to the Hub, the big topic segment of our show. And as I mentioned in the intro, we present tales from our latest podcast jaunt back in the beginning of June 2025. Specifically the weekend in which Muppet Vision 3D closed. That's when we traveled.
Yeah.
And of course, as I mentioned on the previous show that we do that, make sure you check that out. There's always people involved in the stories that we're telling from our trip. You know, we don't want to approach this from like a typical trip report type thing, because interesting enough, from this particular jaunt, there was a lot of people that we ended up chatting with, hanging out with, just laughing with, just making memorable experiences with, man. And so this show will present no different. Just like last show with Narcoozes and stuff, on this show, the people that will be involved with this. There's a cast member in the club lounge, and I can't remember his name, and Danny Shoes, that kind of thing. There's our eel guy dude over at Shiki-Sai.
Oh.
And of course, there's Eli.
Yeah.
Eli's central to all this. So that's what the things that we're going to talk about. And it all starts out back at the hotel before we even get to Epcot.
Yes, it does.
And the reason why we're starting there is because we had a late start to the day. You know, this is our Disney day one. This was that Friday. before Muppet Vision closed. This is also the same day as Steve Whitmire. We make sure we get over the Muppet Vision 3D. So there's a lot of things happening because that Saturday in which Muppet Vision 3D was going to close, we were over at Epcot Universe. We got a reservation for that Epcot Universe. Epic Universe. That'd be awesome. Epcot Universe. Anyway, I digress. We had reservations for Epic Universe on the day that Muppet Vision closed. So this was our day to check out Muppet Vision 3D. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But we did have a late start. And the reason why we had late start is because Eli had a job interview.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He did it. We encouraged him. I did a job interview with Disney. That's how I got my job over where I'm currently at.
I was
So,
with you.
You know, he got I guess you got what'd you get, a call or something?
Yeah, well, that was the thing. When we were at the airport, I was going to say, nah, screw that. Like, I'm on vacation, baby. Like, I'm off the grid. But I talked to you gentlemen, and you're like, nah, man, it's this opportunity, not to mention you're on a vacation. You got to pay all that stuff back, you know? So I was like, yeah, you know what? If the Fates told me my two brothers said, give it a shot, I was going to give it a shot. So, yeah, this man had been calling me since we
And were we right?
Yeah, you were right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the job.
This is an update. So he did the interview while we were there. It was about 10 o'clock when your interview was.
Yes.
And I remember it was kind of like celebrities where like at 9, they called you to set up the interview at 10 or something.
Yeah, the recruiter was very scared, I guess, that I wouldn't show up. But to be fair, though, it was crazy how it worked out because it was a Zoom interview.
Yeah.
So I needed a laptop.
I had my laptop,
Yes.
thankfully.
I was going to say, because
Nice.
Because you tried to do it on the phone, but they said, yeah, we can't do this.
yeah, you got to
remember that.
And as an IT guy, as crazy as it may sound to people, when I go on vacation, I don't bring a laptop. Like, I don't.
I don't really either.
Right? I don't want to look at a laptop. I'll look at the phone, and I know we have Disney apps, stuff like that. But yes, the guy was like, yeah, bring your laptop. I was like, I don't have it. But Kevin luckily did. And
I usually do only because I do a lot of the media stuff, so I like to dump it onto my laptop.
God
So I
bless
have
you.
free space on my phone to snap more stuff.
It would have, but it was crazy how it worked out. Yes, and but you gentlemen were going to breakfast.
Yeah, well, you got dressed halfway.
I did.
That's all they needed to see.
Yeah,
And
yes.
to be fair, that's what I did
Business
too.
from here to here.
He was party down in the
party
rear.
all the way down.
Party on the
for
rear.
vacation.
Boxer shorts. The
Oh
entire.
my goodness!
It was awesome.
Yeah, I had my Deadpool boxes on. Yeah, ready to roll.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
So Eli had that set up, and it was like, Danny and I were like, we weren't sure exactly what to do, but we were like, let's go check out the club level, and we'll explain how we got club level. Long story short, the original rooms I booked as DVC were under construction, so they moved us to a 2-bedroom suite with club level access.
Whoa, hold
Yes.
on. I think you went a little too fast there, Kev, because I don't remember where was it, Eli, where Kevin told us about this. Was it the airport?
It was at the airport.
It was at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Kevin goes to us and says, guys, so I got bad news, but maybe good news. Like, you remember how we got the Savannah View room? We're like, yeah, well, we don't have that no more.
Yes, I remember.
And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, Disney called me.
The day of, yes.
The day before we were due to travel, Disney called them and said, look, I'm sorry, we're going to give you your room, but it's going to be a partial view Savannah room.
Yeah. The reason being is because the original rooms I booked were under construction, renovation, whatever else. So they were offering us a 2-bedroom suite, same amount of beds, same amount of rooms. The only difference is that it didn't have a full kitchen. I had like a little kitchenette, microwave, sink, a little small fridge,
Yeah, baby fridge.
as opposed to a DVC full-on fridge.
Yeah.
And then it had what they called a partial Savannah View.
And I was going to say the reason being because you didn't book with Rachel.
Oh,
But-
that too, yeah.
Yeah. It was DVC.
Exactly.
Yes.
We did this DVC thing. So we show up over there. We don't know. And we're not happy about this because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, well, we're not going to be, if we're out and about, it's going to be in the parks. By the time we get back, the concert is going to be closed. This really doesn't benefit us that much. Plus, they did like wine and beer. They didn't really do cocktails or hard liquor, which is what we more prefer.
Adjusted to, yeah.
Exactly. And then the breakfast was supposed to be a continental breakfast, which
Well, the
usually means
expectation, this is a continental. We didn't know what they're
pastries
Yes.
and orange
little
juice.
fruits and
Yes,
cheeses,
that kind of
maybe if
thing.
you're lucky, coffee, juice,
Right.
water.
But
Yes, indeed.
this actually turned out to be a positive. The concierge lounge did actually turn out to be a positive
Yeah.
on a vacation. So that day, yes. So
That would have been the first time. Yeah, Eli was doing that would have been the first time that we have checked out the club.
Mhm.
With Danny and I decided, hey, let's go see what breakfast about. Because I remember the schedule being at some point, certain hours they did breakfast, Then they switched over to like a midday kind of meal snack
snacks.
thing. So, yeah.
Yep.
And then they did snacks, and then they did dessert after that, which was the only one. And we'll talk about this when we talk about our experience at hotel. But that was the only thing that we didn't experience with desserts. Unfortunately, that's a whole other reason why.
Included drinks too, right?
Yes, at every meal.
Well, yes, drinks, yes, but it was mostly beer.
Yeah.
Beer, wine,
but there were cocktails. But it had to be like you kind of had to talk to somebody.
Yeah,
you can get a mimosa or something like that, or a sangria, or
some kind of mixed like wine drink. Or,
some kind of like easy
like
to make.
That.
Yeah, but it wasn't a full bar.
Yeah, it wasn't
old fashions or gin and tonics, but things like that they would do.
Right, and so that particular day before we leave, like I had just woken up. And Kevin notices, like, and Kevin's like, okay, well, why don't we go over to the concierge lounge? I'm like, all right, I'm game.
Yeah, let's see what this is all about. Yeah. Kevin
notices that I'm barefoot, and he's like, hey, man, you sure you don't want to put any shoes on? And I'm like, I don't know. Like right now, literally, I'm not wearing shoes. Like I'm part Flintstone. Right.
Well, this is normal for Danny too, though. Yeah.
Yes.
The shoes make him fall down.
I found that. He does not like to wear shoes.
He's like Spartacus, Agador Spartacus from the Birdcage.
What's the bar? Rose and Crowd. You walked around there with no shoes.
Oh no, Enchanted Rose. I walked around and they got on me. And I hate wearing shoes.
He ain't afraid to not wear shoes.
No, I don't like wearing shoes. Neither me nor my wife, by the way. Neither me nor my wife wear shoes. Like, togetherness. It is. That is nice. Something we bond over.
That's beautiful.
So. And not to mention that I just woke up. So I'm like, I'm still foggy headed. I'm still trying to come alive a bit. Like, so I'm like, I told Kevin, like, no, I'm fine. It's a Disney hotel. People are coming back and forth from the pool, not wearing shoes or shirts. Like, who cares? Like, there was literally a guy in the elevator. And I don't know if this is the appropriate part to talk about this, but this guy, Lilo and Stitch, a guy with the snow cone.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Oh, he passed away.
Yeah. R.I.P. He was built very similar to this, and he was wondering, like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm fine because it's a Disney hotel. People are walking around various states of undress with the pool and everything. Like
sure.
That. Well, Kevin and I proceed on this walk over to the concierge lounge.
Long walk.
And it's a long walk. It really is a long walk to those elevators. Mm-hmm. And no sooner do I get off the elevator than the concierge host or attendant or whatever.
I don't remember his name.
I don't either.
Yeah,
but he was
I can see his face.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
He tells me, "Oh, sir, I'm so sorry, but you can't enter without having shoes on." Now, after a long walk, I just want to tell the dude, look, asshole, all we're here to do is pick up some croissants, maybe grab a coffee, head back to the room. I really don't need shoes for any of that. I'm thinking to myself, maybe Kevin can go over there and just get what we need and go back. Like, I'm not looking to, but like two things. One, if you want to win an argument with me, do it within an hour of me waking up. Because
that's not even easy.
I'm not even looking to argue within an hour of waking up. I'm like, whatever you tell me, cool. Like I'm good. So look, I just didn't want to have any problems. So I was like, all right, well.
I mean, before all that, I was very excited that I used my magic band to get to the 6th floor.
Yeah,
which is the only way you can access the Kilimanjaro
Club.
It
is elite.
And getting this club level upgrade is actually pretty awesome.
Well, and that's that's the thing. Like, we didn't understand just how cool this would be. Like again, I just woke up. I don't even know my own name. I can't even form a cogent argument, let alone tell this dude why we're here.
Why you want me to wear shoes?
Yeah,
I put towels on my feet. That's best I'll do.
Yeah, but when we arrived, though, it was readily apparent that this was more than just a continental breakfast. So Kevin goes, scopes out the layout, and there's eggs, there's bacon, there's smoked salmon, there's bagels, there's cheeses,
beautiful,
there's meats.
Coffees,
there's just
juices.
No way we're going to take a few of these items back to the room and sit down and eat. This was like a spread-worthy meal. Like, we could all sit here and enjoy this together. So I don't want to do it. Reluctant as I was, I put on my shoes. And I walked all the way back barefoot, and then I came back with shoes on.
Was that the time when we walked back? Was when we were messing with Eli during his interview?
You had food at that point.
No, we had food that. Okay, Eli was after.
No, Eli was still eating because when we came back was mimosa.
Oh, that's when we messed with them. Okay,
That's
we'll
when we
talk about
started
that a
messing
little bit later. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, we go back, we load up on some breakfast. We even get a few mimosas because that's another thing.
It was offered, yeah.
Yes. It's not advertised, but you can get a mimosa as like a cocktail.
Yeah.
At the concierge lounge.
And props to the cast member that was, well, I guess, working the tables. I don't know if she was a server, but she worked the table and she said, hey, if you want a mimosa,
yeah.
I can get you to go in the back. They were very accommodating. It was like, do you want to drink? If I wanted a Mickey bar, they would have got me a Mickey bar. I didn't never ask for it.
They were always accommodating.
So
Very
Not-
open.
Even so much so to the concierge who told me about wearing the shoes when I showed back up again, he apologized profusely.
Yeah,
I saw that.
yes.
I remember
And he's
seeing
like,
that.
I am so sorry. I apologize.
They are
I don't
great there.
mean to
Yeah.
just, but there's, what I didn't realize is how active this area is. And he's like, there's spillage, things get broken. So if something
so it's pretty
breaks
safe,
and you're walking around in bare feet and you get glass in your foot, we're liable. So
That's fair.
I totally understood it at
That's
that point in
fair.
time.
And that became a great moment between you two guys because every
Yeah.
time we saw him, it was like,
I got
I
shoes.
got shoes.
I got you.
I didn't know what that was all about, but
Yeah.
now I understand. Because the guy was cracking jokes with you. He's like,
Yeah,
I
every
need
single
to
time.
apologize, and you were like,
It's
no
very, very
problem.
cool.
But I'm like, what did I miss?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
yeah. But yeah, we sat down and, Danny had a great breakfast, some drinks, loaded. We met I met this mom that was telling me about her daughter that loves salmon.
Yes.
And just watch her. She would load up, and lo and behold,
she told me
was
the exact same story as well.
loading
She
up
loved
on
those
salmon. It
smoked
was like-
salmon. Yes.
I feel like I missed out this whole time.
It was interesting.
Well, you didn't because you got a job.
Yeah, you were getting a job.
And so,
But I lost the experience.
Oh, but you had other experiences in the club, which we'll talk about later for sure.
Kevin and I stayed at the club. We had our breakfast. But it was good that we did because then to load up, we loaded up for you
We
and
loaded
we
up.
got you a
Yeah.
mimosa and we come back to the room when this dude's still interviewing.
Yes.
So we go into the room and we proceed to try to distract him from his interview. So I start dancing and I'm like, I'm and then Kevin whoops out a titty.
Yep.
And is stroking his
I do a
nipple
lot of suggestive
in
things.
front-
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's not a joke either.
Things that I can't do on front of Rachel for sure.
Let's put it like
Yeah.
this.
Boys will be boys.
I did not know the level of discipline I possessed until that moment right there.
Put it this way,
because
when I did my thing, Eli was like this.
Yes.
He went like, oh.
Imagine you're on the
By the end of it, you're always like this. You had the
Yeah.
whole face covering his mouth.
I'm on the Zoom thing, and the guy's like, "So what have you done?" Blah blah blah, and I'm just like, "Yeah, and I'm killing the thing." And then they open the door, and they're like, "Oh, you're still doing it?" I'm like, "Yeah," because they can only see like my.
So we're
up to my
sliding
face.
time sticker. We're like, we got Geo-82
And
coming at
I'm
11
like,
o'clock.
no,
It's like,
I'm
okay.
knocking this out.
Yeah.
And then they start doing the dance, and then I'm like, oh, and they're asking me a question, and then when Kevin came out with the titty, I had to do this.
We slid in the mimosa, and all of a sudden we just started trying to distract him, and Kevin went way beyond.
He went way beyond, and it was like
I fully
and-
commit.
Sounds like it.
And, but these guys knew I was on a vacation. They just didn't know who I was on vacation with. Like, if they were listening to the show, they'd be like, "Oh, look, did Kevin whip out his titty on you?" Like, let's take a break. Just go back to that question.
It brings all the boys jobs.
Yeah, no, it was wild. But I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go on vacation after that. So yeah, I closed that out.
You nailed the interview. You closed it out.
I killed it. I was like,
you ate
we
the
left.
breakfast that
I
we brought
came out
you.
there, ate the breakfast. The eggs were great. Sausage was great. The mimosas were
It was
great. I
pretty
think
good.
The only thing that wasn't great is that you had no utensils.
I did not.
Yeah, that's the one thing with the not having the full kitchen like
That's
BBC.
fair.
We didn't have silverware.
But that's okay.
And we
I
didn't even
was-
think about getting it.
But if you're at the concierge lounge, here's something like, because
Okay.
Kevin and I didn't know this, take the silverware with you. They
Yeah,
don't care.
they'll give it to you. Yeah.
Take the silverware, take the glasses. They don't
And
care.
we asked him, was like, should we bring it back? It's like, no, the housekeeping will bring it back.
Yeah,
It'll
exactly.
work its way back to us. We're not worried about it.
Hey, well, look,
Like,
you haven't lived until you've eaten eggs with your hands. And
Yes.
to be fair, there was
makes
that.
you very primal in the animal kingdom.
Well, I mean, I just conquered some
you
new
and
wealth.
the caribou
I was
or whatever.
on vacation. I was like, rah, like I was out
the
there. I was out there in the
Savannah view.
savannah. I was looking at zebras like,
Hey,
yeah, you conquered that. Yeah, Will the Beast was licking water like, boy, you got paid. Get that.
Oh wait, well, so that's another funny story. If we're going to talk about the room
What?
itself, is that that very first night your CPAP machine fell off.
That's not what.
Yeah, no, that was funny because
That would happen.
Poor Kevin.
That's not what happened.
So that did happen.
Well, just to get background, and so Danny got each trip we take turns having the room,
big room.
the big room.
Yeah.
And so Danny got it because
And the loser has to sleep with Eli.
Yeah, so I was in a double
I say they're the
queen
winner.
room with Eli. Yeah, and we both have CPAPs. I got a CPAP. He's got a CPAP. And yeah, to Danny's point, that first night it fell off, and so I got to witness the log,
The full extent.
of Eli's power.
Now, listeners, we're staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, overlooking the savannah, and when Eli's CPAP machine fell off, the guttural noises and growling had the animals on the savannah so confused that they gathered around our balcony
Like Lion King.
because they thought they were anointing a new Lion King.
Yeah, they thought a little baby lion was going to come up. And we're going to present it.
Here's Eli.
Birds
What
are
can I
flying.
say? It's an animal thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very guttural.
Yeah.
But so that was also another factor in this.
I had to say that. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to Kevin. Like, I didn't know about, because, like, I thought sometimes Kevin was dead. Like, sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'd look over and Kevin had buried himself in, like, pillows.
That's
like,
what you
I
have
did.
to do to
I did.
survive your snoring.
I did not know that. And then, like,
It's
Well, just a
brutal.
little preface it. Like you sleep with the TV on and stuff.
yes,
a little
we
bit
did
of
talk
sound,
about that. Yes.
which I was able to work with. So I had earplugs in at one point, and then I piled the pillows on my face because I don't mind the TV, but like when it changes like from bright to dark,
yeah.
the bright catches me and it wakes me up. So I'm like, well, I'll just pile pillows.
It was
And I was
tough.
totally fine because thankfully the air conditioner really worked. So I was very comfortable under there.
But I would worry about you sometimes. I was like, did my accommodations really affect this man that much? Because like one time I woke up in the middle of the night and all I saw was your arm like stick out of a sea of pillows. Like, oh my God, I killed my friend. This is bad. And then like another time you actually got up, like it was in the morning
Oh yeah.
and you got up, you moved around. I was like, I can't tell if Kevin's dead now because the fort of pillows was like still there. But I saw
if I was
nobody.
still
I'm
in
like,
there, yeah.
oh my God, my snoring disintegrated my friend. Oh no.
it was like what was it?
Like Ricky
Avengers, yeah.
Yeah, but yes, the TV thing is it's a big deal, and we worked through that.
Yeah, we
together.
worked through it. I had
We made
earplugs.
that
If I thought about it to get an eye mask, it would have been perfect. But
Well,
I
now
used
we
pillows
know.
instead. Now I know.
Yes, now we
I'll make
know.
sure to do that next
But
time.
we worked it out. We had a whole bathroom thing worked out.
Yeah.
We worked out a whole like set of stuff. Like we communicated.
Yeah, we had our
very
number one
well.
bathroom, our number two bathroom. I even
Yeah.
brought spray. It was great.
Yeah,
And look, by the time we finished eating, like we were running like a bit behind
Yeah, we're
for our
behind,
reservation
a little bit. Yeah.
at Geo-82, which was a must-do for us on this trip because it was
Yeah, we had
brand new.
reservations. Surprisingly, we had two reservations
We had
for that
two
day.
reservations.
Somehow, I don't
Somebody
know how.
owes us a thank you
Oh,
for
wow.
giving that second reservation up so late.
Yeah, we gave up at 3 o'clock. I can't
Yeah,
remember
that
if
was to
Rachel,
the
you're the one
wire.
that did it, or if somebody else did it. But
Well,
we
but
ended up with 2. Anyway,
go figure, people, on the 40-minute drive from the airport to a hotel room on that first day where we had no park reservations, no park tickets. Like we weren't even going to the parks. It was just Narcoossee's and that was it. On that 40-minute drive from the airport to our hotel room, some of us took advantage of that time to link our park tickets with our My Disney Experience app and advise that everyone in our party do the same.
yeah, we were feeling technology advanced. We were in a Tesla from the airport to the hotel. It's like, all right, we can handle this little bit of technology.
Well, one of us decided instead to take his phone and play some Marvel mobile garbage game or something like that. I'm not naming names,
Yeah.
but somebody here amongst the three of us decided that they weren't going to worry about that. So when we got to the parks, someone, again, not naming names, couldn't get into the parks.
Yep. I went through, Danny went through, and there's Eli. Having trouble with his ticket.
There's a whole
Okay, so
mystery
Kevin's
going
naming
on.
name. Kevin's
There's a whole
naming
mystery.
name.
Nobody
Yes.
knew. You just messed that all up.
It's okay.
Yes. I
Just to connect it to the intro, because I did name you as a person
of
of
a
interest.
person
of interest in,
Thank
this,
you.
in
I
these
am-
sets of stories.
I am
So-
an interesting person.
Yes.
We're 15 minutes late already,
Yeah.
and Eli can't get into the parks.
Yes.
But I think it was something along the lines of like my name wasn't even right, like even on the thing.
No,
Right.
your name was on the
It
thing.
wasn't
You
connected.
didn't link
Yeah,
it.
you had to go to Will Call to get it all fixed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was like the day of, and you're trying to get linked, and you couldn't. And so, yeah.
Have you heard of that, Rachel? Just out of curiosity, it's like if you don't link it in time, they send you to Will Call or whatever.
No.
Because I know he tried to do it at the ticket thing.
Yeah, I
to
grabbed
do
it.
and then the cast
and then
member's
Kevin
like,
grabbed
y'all
it
gonna have to go to will
Yeah,
call and
and
get
it was
it.
like, you have to go to will call.
And it was still early to go say.
So
Yeah, no, I haven't heard of that, but I also normally have people link them. Like,
That's why you book a
normally-
Rachel. There you
wouldn't
go.
that be smart?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, look, it
Wouldn't
was a
that
whole-
be smart?
To be fair, there was a whole job interview thing that was on my brain at the time. But anyway, we survived.
Job
it.
interview.
We survived. It.
So much on his mind that he
survived
didn't
it.
want to do it until we convinced him to do it.
Well,
But,
the eggs were good, but no, that was on the airplane. Once we arrived, you had to convince me at that point.
Yeah. So anyway, Danny had to shoot forward to Geo-82,
Yes.
tell him the story. See,
So I go run to Geo-82 and I'm like,
And then I
know.
ran with Eli
Yes.
to go to will call.
we worked that
and we
out.
stood in the little hotline or whatever
Yes.
else. And thankfully, there wasn't a lot of people.
No,
Yeah.
there wasn't.
Yeah.
I swore, I was like, it's not our fault. We did everything right. I don't know what's going on with tickets. And they're like, okay, we can get you in here. But now, by the time I'll get here, you're going to be so late, you're going to have to wait. And that kind of became a thing. I was like, okay, well, all right, let me go back and find them. So I go
Because
back.
we had reservations at Shiki-Sai later
Right.
in the day. Yes.
So I go back and I find them and we wait in line. And it was a simple fix. They were able to get Eli linked up just like that.
Yeah.
So boom, he walks into the park. We go right over to Geo-82 and
Which
just like,
thankfully is at Spaceship Earth.
yes.
So it wasn't that far from the entrance to Geo-82.
And that should be something that we do tell listeners. If you're going to Geo-82, be aware there's no signs.
Yeah.
There's
that's true,
nothing
yeah.
to point you in the way you need to go. Unless you walk into the exit building of Spaceship Earth right by that Project Tomorrow
Mhm.
entrance,
And specifically,
you're not
going
going to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards
So-
like Living with the Seas, the land, all that. Living with the Seas. Nemo, and
Yeah.
then the land and stuff. If you go out that side from Project Tomorrow, you will see it. But if you go out the other way towards like the Guardians ride, you're not going to see it.
Fortunately, thanks to Fish on Woo, who longtime listener of the show, I had been at least in the Seaman's Lounge
Yes, I'm with you.
before.
Yeah.
So I knew about exactly where that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew exactly where to go, but longtime listeners or just people who just show up in the park and stuff like that might not understand it. Right hand side, right as soon as you walk in, first entrance into the exit of Spaceship Earth. That's where you want to go. It's immediately to your left.
Yeah. And there is a sign, but it's not, you can only see it from your inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Once
it.
you're walking in.
Outside, forget about it.
While I was waiting there, I watched many Disney people try to finagle their way in there. Like, oh, it's my birthday. You don't think I can go in there for 5 minutes? Everything like that. They were
Oh, geez.
crying.
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
that's the thing too, Danny. It's like we didn't at least I didn't realize it was opening weekend for that place.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't realize
Yeah,
how
yeah.
valuable us getting two of them in one day
Oh.
was going to be.
Dude, if I would have realized that, I would have never canceled the second.
Yeah,
one.
no,
We would
same
have gone
way.
back and we
Would have sold it and got it.
We'll get
salted.
We'll get to what happened. We'll get to what happened. But I mean, so anyway, we get over there. We go in, and Geo-82 is it's as beautiful and elegant as advertised, people.
Oh, it's great.
The decor is exactly what you want in the Disney Lounge. How as it was, the minute you walk in there, the very first thing they do is offer you these cold, scented towels while waiting to be called inside, so you can just kind of cool yourself down
Yeah,
while you're in this atrium.
Yeah.
yeah. It was like the little waiting room kind of area. It's like once you got called and you made your reservation, they took you up the stairs and they led you to a waiting room, which you didn't really wait long.
right.
And I didn't expect it, but yeah, to Danny's point, they gave us cool towels. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I was done.
And it was so hot. You know,
Yeah.
it was so hot at that point. It was only like maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. And already in Florida, it's like,
Scalding.
you know, humidity,
Ugh.
sweat, just like, down my crack. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
It's just terrible, you know? And so
His
but to
neck and
have
his
this
crack.
towel was probably like the most valuable thing I could have walked out of that place with.
Oh, I wanted to see
if I could have bought a bunch of them, I would have.
Yeah, that did it. That
That's
was reinvigorating to have the towel.
And my weekends, look, the walls of this little atrium, they're layered with these Spaceship Earth tiles.
It's gorgeous.
Oh,
Like
cool.
those triangular tiles that you whenever you're like a kid and you see Spaceship Earth, you always want to touch it, but you can never touch the tile. Here, you can touch the tiles.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Voldemort and Harry Potter. Now I
Right.
can touch you.
Now. But yes, it was a lot of fun. So you could feel what it was like to touch the tiles and interact with them. Also, like the floor when you walk into this lounge, it sparkles as you walk along it. It really is so cool the way that they have figured out this lounge. The entrance to the lounge is amazing.
It's nice.
It absolutely is amazing. It
The
fits
pictures are pretty.
Yeah, it fits so perfectly with Spaceship Earth. But all right, so this is where things start to go a little bit awry for me. When we entered and you sit down to enjoy your drinks, you can't help but notice a couple of things. One, the space is not that big at all.
Very small.
The lounge, it feels very crammed. And the tables are practically right next to one another. So much so that you can hear the conversations of the people sitting next to you easily. And not only just that, the tables even themselves are small. Like just to fit, like if you ordered a couple of forget about it. One appetizer and 3 drinks and we were already maxed out.
And that's
we
the
have
thing.
no space.
To Danny's point, it's like for anybody who's been in the Siemens Lounge or whatever it was before Siemens took over, it was a big, massive space. But since they installed Geo-82, you got the bar, you got a little kitchen that now does all the food because they do serve food. So that took up a bunch of the space. That's that I guess I think it literally cut it in half. Whereas it used to be, because I've been in there when it was Siemens and before that, it was pretty. It was a pretty big space.
Yeah,
it felt like it was a lot bigger than what we saw. Because look, the view is nice. The view is beautiful,
Adequate.
but only if you're one of the fortunate few to have a seat alongside the windows. For everyone else, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were seated closer to where we entered, away from the windows, like closer to the bar side, like in like not a booth, but it's like one of those booth table things where they have chairs on one side and booth benches on the other. So we were the furthest away in the back corner from that.
But it was easier to leave because we were like right by the exit.
Yeah,
It was
but-
nice. Yeah,
But you're right. Yeah, there was a couple like right by us. Like,
Yes,
no
and they
space.
were not even speaking to one another. So anytime that we talked on something, if they overheard what we said, they felt the need to chime in on what we were talking about.
Oh, that's yucky.
It is. It's so yucky. And I'm going to get to another aspect of that in a second, Rachel. But another thing that I realized very quickly is that there are no regular people in Geo-82. And what I mean by that is that everyone in there, and I pointed this out to Eli and Kevin, everyone in there was dressed in attire that announced to every other Disney fan in there just how hardcore of a Disney fan they were. It was almost like the more obscure the reference on your t-shirt, you win.
It was like a gay. It was like a gay competition with tattoos or something.
yeah. If you know, kind of stuff.
Yeah. They were all wearing t-shirts and carrying bags with the most obscure Disney references ever possible. Like serious. Like there was one person in there, and again, long-term Disney fans won't think it's all that obscure, but it's like the Sherman Brothers like t-shirt, like just as Disney geekish as you could possibly get. So it doesn't feel like you're just enjoying this as a casual fan. Like you really kind of have to be into the lore and into the mythos of Disney as you could possibly be. It just kind of felt elitist. Yeah, the elitist. Like
all right.
It's like you're paying so much money. It's like a premium price for a premium experience with only the most premium Disney fans. Like
At least for that weekend, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder if that has something to do with the opening weekend.
maybe, but like I'm telling you, Rachel, we ordered. So their signature old fashioned is called the brown butter old fashioned.
Yes.
Yes.
It was $28 a drink.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes.
We only got one.
And you realize fairly quickly, like, okay, we're not hanging long here. We'll go broke. And we still have lunch left to go. Like, this is ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, the drink was delicious. It was
smooth.
Very unique, very
Delicious,
smooth.
yeah.
It had almost like a butterscotch kind of like aftertaste.
But no crazy bite, but it wasn't too oversweet either.
Mhm. However, I did have the $23 truffle tuna, the ahi tuna.
Yeah, the ahi tuna with the little the eggs and stuff, and
It was not good.
it
was not good. It could have used a little bit more soy. The meat was a little bit too thick for the amount of soy that they gave.
missed flavor for sure.
Yeah, the tuna tataki over at Shiki-Sai was way better, way more flavorful.
But the people that were sitting right next to us thought it looked good.
Yes, because they commented on everything that we did and everything we
They
said.
were really on top of us for
Yeah,
sure.
not in
So-
a good way.
That brings me to my other thing about when I talk about how niche of a Disney place that this is. While we're there were these 3 people who were there that, again, I would think they would call themselves influencers, TikTokers, YouTubers, whatever. I don't know what platform they're on. I've never seen these people before in my life. All I know is I could tell because they had all their recording equipment out and they're completely monologuing and they're doing their whole show, talking about the menu, talking about the different drinks in this small confined area where you can easily hear the people next to you. And then I'm like looking at this, I'm like, that's just so totally distracting. Like, I get it. You want your followers to feel like they're sitting there with you, enjoying this experience along with you, but you're doing it at the expense of other patrons who are paying full price, who now are in the background of your video and have to overhear you overanalyzing every single aspect of this experience.
Yes, it was talking about, she was talking about food and stuff, and it was like, well, what if you want to try that off of the menu? Like, I don't want your opinion broadcasted yet until I have my own taste.
Right. It's like, I don't know. It just, for me, it takes away from the ambiance of such a nice place when you got a bunch of wannabe Anderson Coopers who
Bloggers,
think they're
yeah.
like reporting from the
Anderson
midst
Coopers.
of like a hurricane, like talking about every little menu item and breaking it down to the slightest detail, rambling on and on and on. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, if I was sitting there having a date with my girlfriend or whatever, and you're sitting there and you're trying to enjoy, and you're in the background of somebody's video and they're got like 3 cameras and you're in, like, this is not what you want your experience to be like. Dude, just record some video inside, take some pictures inside, overlay it. Don't take away from other people's experiences because you want to put forth your opinion and you need it being done in real time just to prove that you were actually there.
Not to mention, they had a really cool seat by the window. They totally could
It was
have
like
just
the
put
perfect
whatever they
seat, yeah.
wanted somewhere else, like off in the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if the place was empty, have at it. I don't care.
Right on.
But you're infringing upon the experience of others. And maybe, again, just so post some pics and then put your thoughts over it. Don't derail the experience of everyone else that was doing
Yeah,
it.
nobody wants to see no boom mics while you getting a drink.
But
Boom mics and bourbon.
Yeah. That's
all
a good,
that to
that's a good
say,
drink.
though, I'll put it to the rest of y'all after this. Geo-82 is not one of my favorite bars or lounges on Disney property. The decor is amazing. The drinks are unique. The glassware is beautiful. But I think there are better bars and lounges that are more spacious, more affordable, more accommodating than what Geo-82 is for what you need to go ahead and to pay to get in there. You know, my favorite part obviously was when we left, because I did think the glassware was nice. I asked how much the glasses were as we were leaving because they advertised the glasses. The glasses are right there. And so I said, how much is it? And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. They're not for sale. However,
But we did joke, is like, you know, I'd rather buy the towels instead.
yes.
Yeah.
Towels with the
Yeah.
truth.
But then she said this.
She said, however, I have a feeling that when you go downstairs, there's going to be a surprise waiting for you. And each and every one of the people who dined there during that opening weekend got these souvenir glasses. I'm holding it up right here. Oh, wait. I got it the wrong way. Here you go, Rachel. Right.
Nope. Right.
Boom.
There you go.
There
Now you
it
got
is.
it. That's you.
Yeah, nice.
These Geo-82 glasses where you can see the Spaceship Earth tile underneath it and
Yeah,
the
they look
Geo-82
great.
logo right above it. And it was really, really, really beautiful. I did enjoy that.
I didn't expect that. I didn't even realize it was opening weekend when we went. And I was just like, this is great. Although I still would like the towels.
Yes.
Because we went right into the heat. But
Yeah.
the glasses were kind of cool.
Ooh, I could have used some of those towels for like the rest of that trip.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
I'm with you though, Danny, as far as like the price. Like they had a really cool layout with the menu. Like I think that was neat how they had like the designs of the type of ice cubes and the type that, like, that was cool. The layout was nice, but yeah, a little small. I wouldn't say like it would be something I would visit. I would visit it again, but yeah, that's more like the thing you do when you're on the way out at night, almost like the ice cream float, if you will. Like you want to get like your, how you say, like your after bourbon experience and something like that, just to get that all the way. Because yeah, that was a little high. Like prices was a little high.
What did you think, Kevin?
No, to your point, I wouldn't frequent that place as much. It's nice. I mean, it's adults only for number one. So I have kids. They'll still be around. If it was me and my wife, maybe we'd pop in, but I mean, we like active type places, things that seem like a little more engaging, a little more fun. This was very just kind of chill, just like, where the posh Disney elites hang out and have drinks and have bourbon flights or whatever else. But it is very pretty. It's very cramped. It's very small. Maybe I do it every once in a while. I don't know if it's an every trip thing for me. There's other places on property which I would enjoy hanging out, with me and my wife. Not to say that none of y'all should try it. Sure, give it a shot for your first chance so you have an opinion of it yourself. But, that's what our takeaway was. If it wasn't for the little extra treat of the glass, or if, I guess the whole unknown of it, I probably wouldn't think twice. It's kind of like the Space 220 Lounge. It's like, they don't exist, but I'll make it when I make it. I'm not going to make it a point to make it, kind of a thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, and to Danny's point, like you said, it's like if I was watching the fireworks from there, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much, especially where we were sitting. But there are other places which we thought might be better, and that's I guess the next place that we're headed to. We went over to Shiki-Sai is where I'm going to, because we had a lunch reservation at 1:00. Our Geo-82 thing was about 11:30, somewhere in there. And of course we got there late, like I mentioned. We did do, these guys saw Journey of Water for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Quick comment on it. Journey of Water was...
It was everything Eric Grubb described it to be.
Okay, there you go.
It's basically a splash area for children. And like there were plenty of times I tried to engage, but yeah, kids would just run right in front of you.
Yeah. I knocked over a kid, and I didn't mean to do it, but the kid just ran right in front of me, and I looked at the parent. The parent was like, "That's okay. The kid's used to it." Like
the kids used to it.
Yeah,
but it was fun. I mean, like certain events were pretty cool to see. If you could set on the spot.
Yeah,
so it was nice being interactive.
Yeah, so we did that, and then the guys got pictures with the Walt statue, the sitting Walt statue.
Oh wait, we got to talk about that Walt statue.
Oh yeah. I'll pull it up while you're talking about it. Yeah,
we finally got to see that Walt statue, and I was a little disappointed by the fact that there was not one single cast member there, stationed there to take pictures of us with the Walt statue. But just a tip, guys, if you're traveling during the summer months when it's hot, there's no warning by that statue.
Walt is hot.
Yes.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
That statue is scalding hot.
Yes. In fact,
the Florida sun.
We were rolled up on when there was people taking pictures already, and the guy was like, "Ooh, that's hot."
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, really? And I went and I touched it, and I was like, whoa. So if you want to pose that, if you see that statue, and you're like, I'm going to pose, and you put your arm around him, and it's July. Yeah, you're going to be like that guy in Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he had the burned.
Yeah, the amulet. Yeah,
you will have burned in parts of Walt's suit all along your arm.
He got his wrinkles on his suit.
He is scalding hot,
very hot.
Yeah, he's no shade.
Don't just grab him.
Yeah, and this is crazy because like when I went and saw and took my picture with him last year, there was a PhotoPass photographer there.
Yeah,
we rolled up on it. There was nothing.
That makes sense. Yeah,
there was nothing.
I was surprised. There really should have been somebody to warn you, don't touch Walt. You will burn yourself. And 2,
you will burn yourself.
Yes, just to get a picture where everyone's in the photo.
How dare you talk bad of my park?
How could you? But yeah, you can look at the photos. Kevin's putting them up right there. None of us are even touching Walt.
No, I think it was one we like all kind of stood around him, but it was like this covered space to make sure that you don't lean on him because every part was hot. Even his hair was hot.
Yes,
I remember.
Yeah. But no, that's a fair warning for sure. Especially since we're in the summer, we're doing this review. If you're traveling down there, and you booked with Rachel, he's hot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
in a temperature way.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure Lillian thinks of it differently, but
the black is hot.
Yes,
Walt is hot.
So anyway, we went through that. We went through Journey of Water, and then we hoofed it over to a friendship boat. We took a friendship boat over to Morocco.
That was a good call, Kevin.
That was cool.
We lucked out because as we were walking up on the friendship boat, they were boarding, and we were walking up. The little girl was like, "Come on!" We hopped on. It was standing room only, but I didn't care. I didn't have to walk.
Yep,
because that was going to be a long hoofing.
And the whole time while we were driving, the woman was like, "Hydrate. Make sure to hydrate.
Yes.
Grab water. There are free waters here. There are free waters there." Like they were preaching. Hydrate.
Encouraging us.
It's going to be a really hot day.
And it was.
Take care of yourself.
And just throughout the summer, it's just going to get worse and worse. Especially, I'm traveling during July 4th. Danny's going the week after that, and Rachel, I know you're going after that. July is going to be hot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Going
good
into
luck.
August, the peak of hurricane season, temperatures are going to be bumping. So yeah, hydrate. And that's what the friendship skippers were telling us. And it was great.
And the challenge is that Kevin's going to leave a surprise for me, and then I'll find it, and I'll leave the surprise for Rachel, and we'll see
You have to
if
give
we
you clues.
can all
Yes.
find the clues to find out where
Yes.
we left this.
I'll take our Magic RV pin of Danny's name tag, and I'll hide it somewhere and give you clues as to where to find it. And we'll see if it can be found. I don't know.
But Weekend Madness.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
beautiful.
That's right. So yeah, so we head over there. We walked by Morocco. We heard Moroccan playing. They were great as always.
Yes.
We walk up to Japan. We finally find where Shiki-Sai is. We weren't exactly sure, but apparently it's where Tokyo Dining used to be.
Yes.
Right by the window. We're overlooking the World Showcase Lagoon and stuff. So the waiting area was basically the same as the hibachi place. What's the name of the hibachi place?
Tepanito.
Tepanetto, yeah. Tepanetto, same place. They had an itty bitty bar. They said, we checked in outside. So the check-in to Shiki-Sai is outside, right at the bottom of the steps. If you're going down the steps, it's to the left. If you're going up, it's to the right. You check in, you head up the steps, and you wait literally in the same area as Tepanetto. And there's that itty bitty bar, which we grabbed our drink at just to kind of wait. And we did have a little bit of wait, but it was okay. It was enough to get the drinks and enjoy it a little bit and kind of cool off because it was hot. It was the heat, the sun was bumping for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then we get into Shiki-Sai, and we didn't sit by the window like Geo-82, but we were kind of maybe 2 rows off, so we're kind of back. But I remember, and Danny commented this, one of the first things that we noticed is that this is a much better view than Geo-82.
Absolutely.
And we were maybe about the
100%.
same distance from the window as we at Geo-82 as we were in Shiki-Sai. And it was like, I would totally watch. Was it Luminous?
Yeah, Luminous.
Yeah, Luminous Reflections of Us. I could totally watch that fireworks show here instead of Geo-82, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Geo-82, there was only a few tables around the viewing area that you could procure, whereas most other people were sitting way too far away. I remember being like $180 for this. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Like if unless I'm assured a spot along the windows, no. But if you book Shiki-Sai and you get a table right around the windows, my God, you got a great view.
Even in
Yeah.
that room by the windows, you still had a killer view,
Yeah.
That took a few
which
pictures.
is amazing.
It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Plus, you got really great food.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a new must do on just about every Disney vacation because I love sushi, and it's nowhere near as expensive as Takumi Thai.
Yes.
It's not
Fair.
pre-packaged counter service like you would get over at the Kabuki Cafe, and you don't feel obliged to do hibachi like you would at Tepanetto.
At Tepanetto, yeah.
Yeah, so I like Shiki-Sai. I like it a lot. Actually.
I really like Shiki-Sai. I could eat there on every trip.
Yeah.
It's like the sushi is delicious. It's great. It's fresh.
They do
The
small
ambiance.
plates.
They do small plates.
So you could share.
Yeah, they've got unique Japanese dishes that you wouldn't normally have. Like I had some kind of egg custardy kind of thing with some fish in it, which like I didn't know what to expect, but I'm like, hey, let me try it. Screw it. And I ate it. I was like, that's not bad. You
What's
know?
that dish you had that was like breathing? Like you had some dish that was
Oh.
steaming.
I
And like
remember.
Danny would look like your food is moving, and I'd be like, "That's funny." And then like, sure enough, you look at whatever it was.
Yeah,
it was,
his food was
it
moving.
was, I don't remember what that was, but I remember it was delicious.
Yes, there was
Yes.
something about how it was cooked. So what Kevin's showing right now is a dish, one of the dishes I ordered, which is
Which
the
looks
Maguro-
amazing.
oh yeah,
I believe it's the Maguro
Yeah,
Tataki,
That was awesome.
and that is 1,000 times better than what you would get over at Geo-82.
Yeah, absolutely.
That tuna that he showed before at Geo-82 and that, it's not even a comparison. That is
That's
so
good to
much
know.
more delicious than what you would have over there.
I mean, Shiki-Sai was, I agree with Danny. That's a must do now.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend that place. I mean, well, I love sushi, period. And Danny, I know, loves sushi, and
Mhm.
that's like a thing for sure. I would go there each and every time. I mean, I like Tokyo Dining for what it was, but this is like 1,000 times better. I think they finally got it to where it's like,
it's the right.
and I
Like-
think because of the countries now embrace sushi, and there's so many great sushi restaurants, and Tokyo Dining just wasn't matching up to what I could get even in New Orleans, you know. But now when you go to Shiki-Sai, it's like, oh yeah, this is it. Okay, this is what I expect from Japan. They should take the lead and say this is how sushi should be done.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
it was amazing.
The only bummer is that, again, the tables are just damn too close together.
They are very close.
And again, you're overhearing everyone's conversation next to you. They're listening to you. You can't help but overhear them. It's like it really takes away from the
privacy.
Yeah, like
dining.
you don't feel like you're having an experience with just the people at the table. You are acutely aware that every word that you're spoken is going to be overheard by everybody else next to you.
Yeah, and God help you if you're somebody who's just so confident you have to speak so loudly and proclaim to the world your knowledge. You're going to hear said knowledge for sure.
I can't imagine what you're talking about.
I don't know what are you talking about.
Man, I got 3 letters in this word, and that word is eels. I'm sorry, that's 4 because I made it plural.
You put the S.
eels.
Yes.
But eel, yes. Danny's talking about we sat at a table, and that table did have a divider between us and the next room.
Mhm.
But that table was, I mean, it wasn't really a divider. It was like maybe 2 slats of wood.
It was
on-
like
on
6
stand.
inches.
Yeah, it wasn't even nothing. But you could definitely hear what's going on at the next table on the other side of that wall. I mean, it was definitely not the Berlin Wall. It definitely did not block out anything. It was not a studio. You could hear everything. And then there was this guy.
Quiet the whole way through the meal. His wife was so bored that she was talking to us. Like every once in a while, she would overhear something that we would say and she would comment on it. And like, so that's what I'm trying to say. You really kind of need to get your head wired because yes, people can overhear you. So we would say things, we would talk about different experiences and she would comment. And this guy literally said nothing until, and I'll let you take it from here, Kevin.
I don't know how it started. And I don't know, Danny, you may know how it started, but at some
The
point,
waitress came over.
Yeah.
the waitress did come over, and somehow the conversation about eels started. I don't know if it was led to that.
He was
he
expressing
ordered
his
something?
knowledge of the various dishes.
She asked him how the meal was.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So I was on the other side of where Danny was seated, and Danny was right next to it. So I didn't know what led up to this, but all of a sudden when he said that about the eel thing, I heard it.
Yes,
And
we all heard
and
it.
the reason why, so she asked him how the meal was, and
It
then
was the
what?
first time he'd spoken the entire meal.
But he
And
spoke so
literally
confidently and loudly.
went off. He was like, that was magnificent. You know why it was magnificent? Because of the eels. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's like, do you know where these eels came from?
You know, these servers are very polite, very
Yes.
Japanese, very,
Thank you very much.
yeah, very thank you very much. Oh yeah, arigato, kind of stuff. You know, they're very, very cool, and so they're just entertaining this guy.
Not only that, they're not
Yes.
from America.
Yeah, they're totally like college program kids.
Yeah,
Right,
it
over
says
here.
right there on the name tag.
Yeah.
Yes, where they're from. And this
They're
dude
from Japan.
felt the
From
need
Japan.
to educate them about American eels and proceeded to lecture this poor server about how eels, the best of the eels, come from Maine.
That's right.
And that is the best part of sushi is the eel. And if you have the right cut and if it's a Maine eel, you're always going to have a great meal. And, you know, Disney gets so many of their eels from Maine. Like he just went off on the Maine eel.
I don't know if he was-
Rachel, did you know that about Maine
This is
eels?
news
Did you
to
know?
me.
You know what, Rachel? It's okay. It's okay that you did not know that.
It's not okay, Kevin. It's not okay.
It's okay.
I say it like that. I don't mean to be rude, but I say it like because that's exactly how the guy told
Yeah.
the waitress.
Uh,
He's like, "Did you know eels come from Maine? It's okay if you didn't know that." I was
That's
like, "Oh my god, what's happening?"
that's the part where I kind of listened. Like, no, he did not.
He
Yeah.
did.
We
Say
all
that.
kind
I
of
was in
shut up.
shock. I'm like, "What?"
And we're listening to
This
this.
poor waitress.
And he's just browbeating this waitress with it. He's just beating her over the head.
True story.
With
Yeah.
a lot of knowledge about eels that this woman clearly could not care. Like every single, oh, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
very, very polite Japanese.
Yes,
I got oh yeah, it's the eels. Yes.
trying to get out of this.
I want to say he was worked as a distributor or somehow was tied to the distribution of this, and that was what the basis of his knowledge was. I
Maybe it
think
was.
in between all of that rhetoric and while he was spitting. I think I remember saying that. But yeah, it's okay if you don't understand it. Like
It's okay if you don't understand.
that's when my ears
You
perked
didn't know
up
that.
and like, did that dude just say that?
Yeah, it's
called her out.
okay that you don't understand the eel situation. Like, what does this woman care about the eel situation in America?
Right, you're right. You know, it's not like there's a stipulation in the menu said these are pure eels. Please question where they're from. But
Right.
the other part that killed me though was like after she left, and then like, you know, you think they would just get up and walk away. There was another table of young
They were definitely
Asian
Japanese.
girls there.
Yes.
Yeah, Japanese girls. And they said,
Yes.
and they're minding their own business. You know, they just do. And then the guy went to them and was like, yeah, I don't know if you heard what I said, but blah, blah, blah. And then they all just looked at him the same way, like, yeah, okay. I'm like, do you feel yourself like you cannot read the room? Like, unless somebody came to you and said, "Oh my God, tell me more about the eels from Maine," you flat, you done.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude did not give up.
I
No,
remember
he
the
didn't
waitress came back and the table with the Japanese youngins were talking with each other. And I could tell they were laughing because, they were talking about, they were pointing at the table and like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Stuff. I was like, oh, I know they're talking about that dude.
Jeez, man.
It was amazing. And, me being a researcher, I'm like, well, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. I looked it up. So I went ChatGPT like I did the other show. And apparently, yeah, it comes from Maine and the other place is South Carolina. So those eels that we ate could have came from South Carolina too.
I wish we had known that prior and had drank it enough to throw that at that guy and
engage him.
Well, as soon as he walked away, we went berserk.
Full ham.
As soon as he walked away, we just started doing this whole big skit where it was like, I remember because I was portraying the wife, and it's like, yeah, the eels, and I'm like, damn it, Harold! Every time we go out, we can't even have a conversation about you bringing up the eels. Like,
what? I just want to tell them they're from Maine.
Yeah.
They don't know. But
I'm
listen,
proud of my work.
Yeah, know my job. But look, it's not their fault. They don't understand that, babe.
And it's okay that they don't.
It's okay that they don't. But so much of that.
But then I would be like, oh, that's why you can't function as a man anymore, Harold. All you think about is an eel. You don't even think about me. When's the last time you touched me? Like, it just got
going on. Like, I got eel posters on my wall. Damn, it's my job.
But that was like a joke for the entire rest of the trip.
We were highly
because
entertained
we were
after that.
I couldn't believe this dude would just.
Yeah, everything was. Yeah,
yeah. It's like, did you know this? It's
not
okay
just
if you
eels,
didn't.
but did you know?
Anything.
It's okay.
It's okay if you didn't know.
You didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was funny.
Did you know Bar Moonshine had like the pennants of all the Quidditch?
It's okay
if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yes, everything comes from Maine. The best things come from Maine.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we rode that to like the.
Oh yeah, like, did you know the female orgasm? Like you have to. It's okay if you didn't know. Like,
I am very.
I distribute these.
Whatever it was like it was always. It's okay if you didn't know.
Oh, we marked that pretty good.
Jeez, Lord,
that guy was a character.
But anyway, just aside from that, dude, the meal at Shiki-Sai, I highly recommend.
Unbelievable,
absolutely delicious.
That might be a new staple.
I was gonna say too, like for those who aren't sushi eaters like me, like you still have other options.
Yeah.
I mean, you do
lots of other options. Good sharing, and they tell you that. Like,
yes,
these meals are they're meant to be shared.
Yeah. And I think I had like basically like a katsu dog chicken. Like, I mean, everything was good on there. So like you're not forced to just only have sushi just to be fed at a restaurant. You have quite a variety to choose from. That menu is no joke.
Yeah. No, it's a very thick menu, and I would highly recommend it to anybody that books a trip with Rachel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't, you can go to Tepanetto. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay if you didn't know to book with Rachel.
The only downside I would say to that restaurant beyond the closed tables, obviously, as we brought up before, is that our waitress did not know how to ring up. And it's okay that she didn't know.
That's okay if she didn't know.
Yeah, that's right.
But she did not know how to ring up the Disney Rewards Visa
That's
card.
right. She like freaked out.
Yeah, she came back to me and was like, "Sir, I don't know." Like, that's actually something we should probably brought up in our Koozie show, is that Anna transferred all of our Disney Rewards points onto the wrong card.
Oh yeah, so this was a running joke too. Yeah.
Yes,
we didn't talk about it on the Koozie show last week, but yeah.
Yikes.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, all I have to say is that it's like she could not. So I just like, look, just give him the card. It's okay, and I paid for it out of pocket. But that was the only restaurant I think I was ever at with the.
And
waitress.
I think I noticed it's because they used the Clover system as opposed to the rest of the regular Disney thing. But I gotta imagine there's a way to do it with the Clover system too.
Because no one else had any problems.
Yeah, nobody else had problems.
You just reminded me of something too, because Kevin, I think like Danny got his drink before we got sat down.
Yes,
and then like you and I went to get a drink, and I ordered. They had like something there, like it was like a new
it was a
refreshing
special,
drink
that
they had just wanted to get. And I was like, you know what? I'm on vacation. Let me try that. And the girl looked. She said, "Okay, let me see." And I guess it was so new, it wasn't in the system. And they had to call the manager, like this lady.
So they had to ring it up.
Radio and I told the manager, like, "I am so sorry. I did not mean to cause this much trouble over a drink, but I hope it's refreshing. But yeah, they're brand new. I think once they get their system down, and it's a good place to start. It has a lot of potential to it. You're going to see something
Saki was
there.
great.
Yeah.
Everything about that place. So yeah,
This
guys,
was my
if you have a
dream,
choice
yeah.
between Geo-82 and Shiki-Sai, go with Shiki-Sai.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not even
Shiki-Sai is
close.
really, really delicious.
Unless you really want a cold towel.
Yeah. Oh, the cold towel. Yeah. Look, everything up until you sit down is magnificent. But who knows? Maybe Rachel's right. Maybe as time goes on and all the influencers and TikTokers get out of there. I just think it's like, I don't know.
I'll be there in like 3 weeks.
Oh,
So
You got a
I'll let you
Geo-82
know.
reservation?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay. I'd be curious to
Okay.
know.
Look, the drinks are not going to disappoint. They will not
Yeah.
disappoint.
I'll be honest, not at this point, but hey, I got to tell you, like between the tuna thing that I showed at Geo-82 versus the tuna thing that Danny had at Shiki-Sai, you should book something at Shiki-Sai.
Yeah, Shiki-Sai's food
Shiki-Sai
was
is
better.
way
yeah.
better.
It was very delicious.
That's
very,
fair.
very delicious. But yeah, no, so that was that. I mean, after that, we went off to Hollywood Studios to pay respects to Muppet Vision 3D, which we ran into a dad and in the Skyliner, which was great, which we'll have stories about that.
Oh,
the
yeah.
other
He was
day.
really cool.
Yeah, he was really, really cool. So shout outs to that guy. I don't remember his name, but it was basically
even know
us
if we
and the
got
dad.
it.
Yeah, I don't think we did. We just started talking, you know? And
Yeah. That's the kind of guy you want to sit in Geo-82 and have a drink with, not with the influencers and the ultra nerd. Like that guy was the perfect guy. Like if you sit at a table next to us, we could have really had a fun time talking to him because he was just a dad there with his kids and he had been there every year with his kids. And he's like, look, me and my wife, we found our happy place here. You know, like
Yeah.
we know where to find the adult accommodations and we know what to do things for kids. This works for us. And he was excited to be there and he was so cool to talk to.
he was cool to talk to. We were a bunch of dads, so he knew that. So it was the Skyliner full of dads. It was neat,
It was a lot
you
of
know.
fun.
And so I mean, that just goes to show. Like I said, instead of a regular trip report, every story that we tell has some kind of person involved. And maybe because we're high vibration people, as the scientists may say, that we would attract such energy to us and they would speak to us, or just maybe that's just how sociable we are and real and stuff. But yeah, there's more stories to come. So definitely stay subscribed. Make sure you listen to our last show about Narcoozie's and our experience there and about the Narcoozie Nick and the ghost and all that kind of stuff. And Yeehaw Bob, it's great stories. And look, there's much more to come. We didn't even talk about our Epic Universe Day, and there's a lot of stories to come from that. So make sure you stay tuned, save, subscribe. We'd love to hear what you think. We'd love to know that you booked with a vacation with Rachel. And if you want to get in touch with us, we're about to tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed hearing our experiences over at Geo-82 as well as Shiki-Sai at the Japan Pavilion. Look, if you want to learn more about us, follow us on any social media platform. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions or ask any questions, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or send us a text message. Yes, I did say text us at 1-815-MOWEEKEN. That is 1-815-MOWEEKEN. 669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of people who do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does things with comics. Eli, what you got?
Yeah, as always, when you're out there on the internet, you want to see what's going on, you can always visit the Ivory Comics website. We can see the work that I have, such as Project Geisha, Savages, and Molly Be Damned. All the work is fully colored, 48 pages. It's all comic goodness. That's how we like to do that. Also on the site, you can see blogs, an interview posts, and of course, a link to the Magic Hour podcast. So you never miss a beat, never miss an episode. You never miss where to eat at a place that you need to eat to get away from people that talk about eels. Just saying. So as always, I appreciate the support when you visit the Ivory Comics website. On social media, Facebook, you can find me there, Eli H. Ivory. As long as you're a real person, it's a pleasure to meet you. If you're about to do not have a desire to greet you, unless you can give me an interest-free loan to pay off this vacation that I just did, and I don't have to pay it back, which I don't think anybody exists to do that. Also on Facebook, you can check out the Project Geisha fan page. So again, facebook.com/Project Geisha. Also on Instagram, I'm right there, seeing what you guys have, posting up the hearts and sending the likes. EIV504 is where you can find me right there. And of course on X, you can find me at Hancock10166. So yes, if you appreciate the madness, then you're just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much.
And if you want to book a vacation down to Walt Disney World so you too can experience Geo-82 or Shiki-Sai, you can do it with Rachel. Rachel, how do they get in touch with you?
Yes, I would be honored to help your group plan a trip to anywhere, right? So I book all kinds of Disney destinations, both coasts, Disney Cruise Line, Aulani. I actually booked my family a trip to Aulani this past week.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
To that. Yeah, that'll be next February.
Did you trick your husband like our other person did?
No tricking required.
Oh, good. Because you got a good husband.
Yes. So I would be honored to help your family book a trip to any of those destinations, plus Universal on both coasts, cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, Virgin Voyages, Disney Cruise Line, and major hotel brands around the world. The best way to reach me is by email. My email is Rachel, RACHEL, @magicourway.com. You can also find me on social media. I'm at Our Family Magic. That's the letter R and the words Family Magic kind of smooshed together. I am also available by phone. It could not be easier. So you can give me a call. You can leave a voicemail. You can send me a text message. My phone number is 978-432-WISH, WISH. And the best part about booking with me is that it is at no extra cost to you at all. It costs you exactly the same. And in a lot of cases, it actually costs you less because I can help you find and apply discounts even after you've already booked. And you don't even have to worry about doing that legwork. I'm looking out for you all on my own. I can help as much or as little as you like. And a little piece of the value of your trip comes back to support this podcast community. And it's one of the easiest ways to support this podcast. Costs you nothing extra. And you get the bonus of my help and my knowledge and my travel advocacy for you when you run into situations that might be challenging or difficult. So please reach out. And we thank you so much.
That's why I always smoosh with Rachel.
Yes.
Got to smoosh.
You got to smoosh.
I smooshed with her for
Life
the
to
July 4th
smooshing.
trip. We're all about the smooshing.
That's the smooshy.
Yeah.
We're not doing exactly. It wasn't that like, yeah, life to smoosh.
Do you like my smoosh stash? Hey, look, in addition, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast. And another option that only costs a minute or so of your time is to leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and to review access to our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are welcome on the Magic Art Podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say, Quahirini, my name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And yar. Bye.